This is day 603 of the horrific US-supported Israeli genocide of Gaza. This past week, the Israeli military proudly announced that since October 2023, the US has delivered 800 cargo planes full of weapons, as well as 140 cargo ships with more than 90,000 tons of arms and ammunition. In fact, the US supplies 70% of Israel's weapons. This past week, they were used to attack tents, homes, shelters, community kitchens, bakeries, and medical clinics. More than 400 Gazans were martyred, bringing the death toll to over 54,000 known dead, and we know there are tens of thousands of others. Widely reported, even in the corporate media, was the Israeli targeting in Khan Yunis of the home of Dr. Ala al-Najjar, a pediatrician, and her husband, Dr. Hamdi al-Najjar. This targeting killed 9 of their 12 children, 2 have not been found, and critically injured him and their 1 living child. And of course, none of this would happen without the long-standing, unconditional, and total military and political support of the US. Trump and Biden before him could end it all with a phone call. And that's why we vow to continue to stand with the people of Palestine and organize and build a movement by all means necessary until Palestine is free.
Yeah.
Now, to Mona. Mona is this is an old biography, so feel free to add anything that like you probably have more than 2 grandchildren now, for instance. So Mona is well known, respected, and loved pediatrician from Gaza. She was here in person in about 2010, I think, and then we've had her on a couple of Zoom talks. So it's wonderful to have her back.
I continue my work for Gaza. I continue for Gaza and for the children of Gaza.
Yeah, she has been the doctor of Gaza projects through the Middle East Children's Alliance, which is based here.
Shall I continue?
By
Yes.
training.
Okay. Actually,
What?
yeah.
Are you speaking? Do you want to just go ahead? Should I just turn it over to her?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
basically, she's a pediatrician. She's from Gaza.
A lot of health projects in Gaza.
Go ahead.
Project in Gaza. And sadly enough, I mean, when my house was destroyed last March, I lost my house in Gaza. I was sad, of course, but the saddest moment for me was the non-stop Israeli attacks against the health infrastructure in Gaza, including Al-Auda Hospital, which I took major part, like a co-founder with my colleagues. The really harsh news came to me a couple of days ago because the team at Al-Auda Hospital, the doctors, the nurses, the staff, everybody was in the Jabalia refugee camp, and they have been working hard with very little resources, but they continue to do to offer health service for people of Jabalia, including children and women, etc. And they wouldn't leave the hospital for the last 19 months, despite of the killing of some of the doctors by the army, injuring of others, and taking hostages or taken into jail the director of the hospital. They continued until 2 days ago by force. They were first they bombed the hospital, and the hospital means a lot for me. It means a lot more than my own house. And they ordered the staff to leave. Otherwise, they will bomb the hospital while the staff are inside it. Then they coordinated with the WHO, to move the staff outside of Jabalia refugee camp to continue the bombing of the camp and the destroyment of the camp, like what they did everywhere. And I'm sure you are following up. But for me, when any hospital, especially this hospital that I have co-founded, I mean, I think of not the hospital as an object. I think of the children who has received care through the years, in the very difficult circumstances, and with the support of Middle East Children's Alliance, we managed to do a lot. A lot of surgical operation was funded. A lot of cases were referred. And during the attack as well, during the genocide, they were one of the few, one of three hospitals in the area that has been destroyed, and now Al-Awda Hospital has stopped working and destroyed. Most of it has been destroyed. So this is sad news for me, and it tells you a lot about the genocide. It tells you about the hundreds of thousands of children in Gaza, either directly injured by the bombing, either killed or injured, or they are suffering of malnutrition because of the late 3 months where there was complete restriction of entering anything to Gaza. So the children are suffering the most because of the malnutrition, and 59 died because of inability to find food. And there is a famine now in Gaza, proper famine, where I am in direct touch with the people in Gaza. They have the lucky families can have one very, very, very poor, uh, low, low calories meal once a day, and the majority are having it every 3 days. They can manage something very poor, no meat, no rice, no bread. No bread, nothing, nothing, just tins and which is not enough, of course, the tinned food. And so the situation is so harsh, especially for children. And this is, again, it is indirect killing. They are killing due to political decision by using the famine and the hunger as a way of punishment, or part of the war. This is madness. This is war madness, because this, according to the so-called international law, shouldn't happen, but it's happening, and the genocide happened, and all the West are complicit or watching or supporting Israel since the start. Just lately, we have heard just low voices from Britain and France, but the support with military, with the weapons, will continue. And here I must show my respect to women against military madness, because your movement is very highly appreciated all over the world, by the way. This madness should stop, either because of the Palestine or because of the world, because of the prosperity of the world, and to try to make the world a safe place. I know there's a lot of disasters, but the man-made disaster is the worst. And it is not only through the arms, it is by using funding Israel by those arms on the cost of the taxpayers, either in Britain or in America or elsewhere. Now, I would like to talk more about children. I mentioned and I'm sure you are following up the numbers. It has reached now maybe 18,000 children were killed, but there are thousands and thousands who lost two parents. In some cases, the only one child is there left. The only survivor was in the family. You mentioned the doctor and her case, which was very heartbreaking. But I went through the same thing 3 months ago happened with my second cousin in near European hospital. She lost 9 of her children, but because it was not well covered that time, but I was so angry and sad, and it is not anger and sad. It is rage. It is feeling of that when this is going to stop. I have heard some news today that there will be a ceasefire. I still did not get the formal news, but it is everywhere. They are saying that there will be something today, and I hope that this ceasefire is going to happen, because at least it will give break for the children, the hungry, the sick children, the traumatized children. It will give them a break of the sounds of bombing and shelling and moving from one place to another. So many children, so many families, thousands and thousands of families had to move at least 7 times, the lucky ones. From 7 times to 11 times, they moved from place to place. And when I say moving, it doesn't sound the way I say it. I just say piece of news. When you think of the details of this, the inability to hire transport, the inability because there is no proper transport. If there is some, it will be very expensive and people cannot afford it. So the details that makes me really the details that is not shown in the media, the details of how the people, especially the children and the women, are suffering because of the genocide. And just bear with me. I spoke about the children. There are many families, of course, thousands. I don't have the number on top of my head, but thousands of families, the whole family has been wiped out of the civil register. And I mentioned the children who lost all the family, one child is left, or sometimes two brothers or one brother and sisters left, very young children left without any parents. And when you think of it now, it is very sad, but you think of the future outcome of this, how these children will manage to deal with the trauma that they have been subjected to through this time. It is not only against the children, it's against the whole community. And if I tell you that 100% of the Palestinian people in Gaza now are traumatized in one level or another. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So 100% and are traumatized one way or another, couldn't sleep, always anxious, or the hardship of life, or living in the tent where the snakes and scorpions, where the spread of the disease. This is another story, the spread of the disease. So those people who killed by the military attack, there is another number of people who who were killed because of lack of health service, lack of medicine, some, and I have many examples, including in my family, cousins. One of my cousins has been waiting for 5 months to be referred outside Gaza. Then since the last 3 months, no referral happened. And she tells the story of others as well, of the cancer patients, the renal dialysis patients, including children. I'm talking in general patients, but including children. And those who has who have had sudden death due to the stress, for example, or the fear of the bombs, and many things had happened during this genocide, and I don't find anything whatever justified that the right of Israel to defend itself, to act in such a fascist way, actually. And despite of all that, I'm very happy about, proud actually, and worried about our team who did not stop, Middle East Children's Alliance team who did not stop offering services with the kind support of people everywhere, including the USA and Australia, but mainly the USA actually, who get support through our services. We run psychosocial clinics, which is, a different module of clinics because it is makeshift clinics. No place, just to try to make the children and the women to ventilate and talk about their problems, or sometimes some entertainment activities. We run nutrition places to check on the children's health. Of course, we did it in all our work is done through partnership with other organizations, local organizations. We try, and amongst the fear and the fear and the threat. That's why. But the last few days, I really felt that I'm worried about the team. We delivered water, but now it is very difficult, especially in the last 3 months. Movement is very difficult. For example, I'll give you just a quick example happened to me as well. One of my cousins in Khan Younis, he is 14 years old guy with special needs. He was just wandering outside his his so-called house. It is just like a hut. There is no house. It's like a tent or a hut. And the quadcopter or the drone targeted him. And it was the photo was on the social media, but the formal media doesn't cover such incidents. He was special needs. His father was killed. His mother was killed. Only he was left with his sister. Now he is killed. And when I have seen the video, it is just a short clip. It doesn't say about my cousin, but it tells the story of many. One story can tell you the story of many. But I just want to show the link between this. But despite of all that, the, I must tell you something that the hundreds of thousands of people in the streets of America, universities, communities, in the capitals of the world, in London, in Sydney, in many towns and cities of Britain and everywhere that have been in the street since did not stop protesting and telling the truth about what's happening in Gaza. This is important. Maybe someday it will change the situation regarding the arms, regarding the justice in Palestine, but it is very, very important for my people in Gaza. Because whenever I talk with somebody, because they don't have the internet regularly, they don't have it. So whenever I talk, those who have watched some of these, they think, please continue, please continue. We don't want to feel that we are alone and forgotten. So the, the mobilization of people in solidarity against the war makes a lot for feeling that they can still hold on to hope. Actually, I have many things to talk, but maybe I leave it for your questions. If I didn't cover things, maybe the questions will bring back more explanation. Have I told you that we are waiting for? I think I have said it. We are waiting for the ceasefire now. We are waiting, and I hope it will happen. Despite that, I don't trust the intentions of Netanyahu and Israel because they broke the ceasefire several times, and they continue making statements that they will continue until all Gaza is destroyed or all of us are out of Gaza. We will not, people will not. Despite of this, they will stay. Despite of all this, they will stay. Some will, and I don't blame them, but they will stay. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
I'll start with a question. What you just said, and we see so many reports of Gazans' steadfastness and courage and resilience. How do you account for that?
Sorry, can you say it again? How do I count for that?
How do you account for Gazans or all Palestinians' resilience, steadfastness, and courage? And you just said people are going to stay no matter what. So
Yeah. First, because it did not happen on 7th of October. So it has been going in the injustice that imposed on Palestinian people. It happened 1948 and before. And through that time, 76 years now, 77 years, and the Palestinian went from one position to another and all on the same path. Right of return, having such justice in Palestine, returning to their homeland, and so they handle it from one generation to another. That's what gives, and of course, our very strong support is the solidarity of people and a new generation. One generation come after the other. When Golda Meir said the elder will forget and the elder will die and the younger will forget, this is not happening. And this genocide as well gave very good ground for more radical people who believe that has I witnessed all those crimes. So there will be new generation under new leadership, and we will continue. If we wanted to be wiped away of the map, this could have happened long time ago. So it is phases. Our struggle is on phases, and this explains our steadfastness.
Questions? Yeah,
Should I give it
Liza
to you?
and Molly. You can go ahead, just speak loud, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mona. I would like to know what is your perception of Hamas and how Hamas factors into the overall situation. And I'll just say that from my perspective, but I want to hear what you think. From my perspective, Hamas is essentially a pretext for Israel's campaign of genocide and ethnic cleansing against the entire Palestinian people. In other words, I believe that Israel's target is the Palestinian people, not Hamas. But I want to know what you think.
Yeah, thank you for this question. First thing, Hamas was not there in 1948, and the same strategy, the same tactics in pushing Palestinian people to leave their homeland and killing. There was many massacres that happened. So it is just minimal now compared to this genocide. This is the first point. So, and Hamas was not in the West Bank. Still, they are attacking the West Bank and doing many things. Now, Hamas, in my opinion, first we need national unity between all the Palestinian parties. There must be leadership, unified leadership, and Hamas as a political party, must join this as a political party. But after what happened in Gaza, I'm not sure if they are still will be existing as military resistance. And this is my point of view. You cannot ignore Hamas because Hamas is not Hamas, just the military party. There are people who support it, and so it is an idea and an ideology, and it will not just disappear because of bombing and this thing. But the only solution is that they become part of the political process in Gaza and Palestine in general.
Dr. Farr, I have a question. Which member of the Israeli cabinet after the October 7th attack said this is a gift, meaning now we have a chance to go in and do what we wanted to do forever, and that is to invade Gaza again and flatten it? Are you familiar with which cabinet member that was?
I have come through it, but I don't remember the name. But this was my analysis and many people an analysis that the plan was there. The plan was there to continue
Yes. And the
annexing
talking
more land.
points. The talking points from the pro-Zionist side have been on point, unwavering from day one. And you know the Palestinian message maybe is floated around, but there's some good people out there talking back against the talking points, but you could not get past. What about October 7th? You couldn't get past that for about a year. And now finding some of the more, like take Piers Morgan, for instance, on CNN or on his own show. He is saying, hey, I was wrong. So we have Mehdi Hassan and Zateo bringing home the message finally. So there is hope. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. First, as I have said, it was the plan was there, and it was preceded by the treaty, the century treaty, صفقة treat, the century treat to empty Gaza and to because Gaza was troublesome for the Israelis, and not only because of that, they wanted the land. They wanted the land and the gas in Gaza. But either whatever Penny Morrison said, but he kept asking people, do you agree with Hamas instead of, do you agree of 7th of October? It is not 7th of October. We try to educate people and tell them it is not 7th of October. This is the strategy of the Zionist movement that is supported by the colonial and the capitalism. So it is not about peace in the Middle East. It is about power and economy. This is my analysis. But I I hope that there will be from the new generation good leadership. Will be the start for us and for them, because I believe that there are still chance for living in peace on the same land, all of us, if Israel allows. But the governments now wouldn't by the excessive power, the excessive reaction to what happened in 7th of October, they are not for peace. We offer our hands for peace but one day maybe this will become true. And I know it is what's happening in Palestine. It is just one chapter after another, and it is long-term battle. The battle for freedom is long-term, and it takes years and years. But in the end, I'm that person that is not full of hope, but I have hope that is based on understanding and reality of the history of the people of the world. So let us together have hope and bring hope back into the Palestinian people who are suffering the most horrible genocide in this century.
Oh, Molly, Dr. El-Farra, could you please tell us what aid organizations or which aid organizations would be the best for us to donate to? Thank you.
In my point of view, Mecca, Middle Eastern Alliance, they are all good. Who is ever working is good, but we prove to reach people and to do it in dignity for people, for Palestinian people, and we continued. So I suggest women Middle Eastern Alliance. But if you want to know others, there are others as well, but they are local partner.
Thank you.
Kathleen?
Okay, I heard Larry Wilkerson on the Ralph Nader program saying that Israel was the one that supported Hamas to win the Palestinian election against the Palestinian Liberation Organization. That whole thing it's so cynical. It's hard to grasp it, but it doesn't matter. Israel wants Palestinians gone, however they do it. And it's something that's so hard to deal with. And the thing is that the United Nations is the one that passes out what Palestinians need the best, but what's going on now is horrendous. It's just despicable, and it's just hard for a lot of people to take. And I heard someone on the Amy Goodman show the other day saying you have to get your churches to provide food and water and medical supplies. Israel will not let it in. That's what's so aggravating about all of this.
Without the history, you cannot read the present. In our history, 1948, Israeli poisoned vast majority, put poison in the vast majority of the water wells inside Palestine, 1948. So I say it now, and I'll keep saying it, that this is their strategy. This is their strategy. I don't like to go to conspiracy theories, but I have heard here and there and through the Israeli media that they have known about Hamas upcoming attack. And it was mentioned by Israelis themselves in the kibbutz that they were asking for help, etc. So somebody today said that it was their chance to go ahead for their destroying Gaza. And that makes me feel sad, because still we pay a lot of effort as people in solidarity or activists or everywhere to convince the people ordinary people about what's happening in Palestine, West Bank, and Gaza, 1948, by the media and the formal media. And the stand of the BBC, for example, is very shameful. They don't cover the news in an objective way, actually. And I'm not sure, I'm not following what's happening in America. And I'm sorry because the last month I was very ill, but I'm much better now. I got through it. And really, really, you should not look, and you should continue. This is the humanity. And we are after humanity. We are after humans, not a jungle. But what's happening in Gaza, it is like a jungle, because from the first minute they spreaded their ideas using the Old Testament to say that we are human animals. We are all this racist expression of Palestinian people. So when the soldiers, many of the community inside Israel, they don't know nothing about us in Gaza. There is a total generation that's brainwashed. When they enter the houses of Gaza, including my house as well, they stayed in my house for 2 weeks, I have been told. Uh, they were surprised to see nice photo or nice. They thought that we are animals, we are not humans. This is how they look to us, and I hope that the voice of somebody like Gideon Levy, the famous Israeli journalist for Haaretz, will be heard inside Israel, because people of Israel, they don't know about us. They are again affected by what their government want them to see or to keep.
One more question from me, Dr. Farah. We get a lot of press in the U.S. about how our democratic ally in the Mideast, Israel. Is Israel a true democracy in any sense of the word, or is it an apartheid regime where there's unequal rights for Palestinians and better than equal rights for Israelis? If we can push back on that myth, in my opinion, I think we can push back on a lot of the pro-Zionist lobby here in the U.S. They're not a democracy, in my opinion. What's your opinion?
Of course, they are not a democracy because their laws they have three laws: one law for Gaza and West Bank, and one law for Israeli Palestinian living in Israel. There's a lot of discrimination amongst the Israelis themselves, the Israeli citizens themselves, and they keep changing the law according to the desire of the army or the government. There are a lot of human rights violation on the level of the social status of people. And of course, it is, I can name it confidently, it is apartheid, and it is not a local, it is not a democracy, and there is racist amongst the system itself, between the Jews themselves. And it is, I keep saying it is, they say it is the only democracy. No, it is not the only democracy. It is not democracy at all, about the discrimination in the meeting with this one and this citizen or the other citizen. And as long as it represents a base for the USA in the Middle East, nothing will change. So there is a lot of personality, a lot of responsibility on people like you and the others to make the change. I don't know, the Democrats or the Republicans. For me, it is the system, but I don't give up with the change in the world. Thank you for your question, by the way.
Thank you for the great answer.
Yeah, thanks.
We have a couple more questions here, but I heard today on the news actually that 50% of kids in Britain think that Israel should not exist as a state. So in spite of all this propaganda, the truth is getting out, obviously. And that is good news. From Jenny Hartley, who is on our Middle East committee, wonders if you could describe as what everyday life is like for your cousin or somebody in Palestine right now. What is it like to wake up and what do they have to go through to just, what's it like? Did you hear that?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
You know, I'm sorry because I thought you were, I'm
No,
sorry,
no,
I
no.
told you I just come out of something really serious, but it is over now. Um, yes, there is change, and the universities and students took part in this. And not only that, it is the obvious uh, uh, action against humanity that the children see the killing, the killing, the killing. So there will be change, but I'm not sure if it is 50 or how. Yeah, but there is slight change I could see because there will be always some people who don't want to care about anything, including except football and their own life and struggling for their own lives matters. And there are a group of people who has very fanatic. They'll continue. They're the people in the middle. So they will work on the people in the middle who did not make, did not decide, which I think it is important and it's promising as well. For example, I am here at the moment in Manchester, and where I live, every few houses, you will find a house with Palestinian flag, and people in the community, they arrange things. They arrange fundraising for Mecca, for example, and they do little activities, not only the protest, and they are full of hope, and they try to spread the message because what happened in the reaction of 7th against 7th of October towards what happened on 7th of October. This what made the world realize the inhumanity of Israel. Inhumanity. Because humanity has failed in Gaza several times before, but this was the maximum because I live in Gaza, I work in Gaza, but I'm now in Manchester. It happened that I'm in Manchester during the attack, but what I want to say is we were not leading normal life in Gaza. Our life was not a paradise in Gaza before the attack. I live there, I work there, I have seen the children, the increasing number of malnutrition. Life was not the unemployed, the people who tried to leave Gaza for better chances, and the non-stop surveillance of the drones and the jet fighter in the skies of Gaza, the attacks against the fishermen and their families, against the farmers and their families. This was before 7th of October, but now the situation is totally different because everything has been dismantled in Gaza. And this is a crime that happened against Gaza children, women, and men, and history. Like today, I have seen part of the old city, Gaza old city. There is old part where are the very ancient mosques, churches, buildings, historical buildings. These are part of the world heritage. It is not only for Gaza. They are destroying whatever they can. I remember something. I want to show this an example because one idea shows brings to the leads to another. I remember during there was something goes to the Buddha statues that happened during Taliban, I think, which was completely wrong. I'm against it. It has been destroyed, and the whole world, including the UNESCO, was so angry about what happened, and UNESCO and official organizations all has been because what happened. But what's about Gaza? Gaza is not just an area of Palestine in general. It is not an area of conflict. It is area of heritage, history, culture. But in Gaza now, everything has been destroyed of the very old things. The city main things are in Gaza City. There is a small citadel in my castle in my hometown, Khan Yunis. Everything has been wiped out. So they are trying. This is what is more than trying to wipe out or destroy your identity, your belonging to the place. If you go to Gaza, you will not see the same streets, the same things, and this is very, very. It's affecting me a lot on personal level, Titi, as well. Yeah.
Do you wanna unmute Nadia so she can ask her question? Nadia, go ahead.
Hi, Marhaba, Dr. Farah. My name is Nadia. I'm with FAM, which is part of WAMM. First of all, thank you so much for being here and speaking with us today. I was wondering if you can tell us more about the children in Gaza, and can you tell us more about the pop-up clinics that you mentioned earlier? I'd love to hear about what helps the children get through what's happening.
Yeah.
They're so precious and deeply loved by so many of us. And I just wanted to echo what you said, we're all one, and the love and hope is really important to carry on. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to say
Yeah.
I'm with you with that.
Yeah, I'll thank you for your question because it will help me to get more chance to talk about health and what we offer in Mecca for health. It's not only clinics. There we create clinics, nutrition clinics, primary health care clinic. Because there are no hospitals. The hospitals are busy, either destroyed or busy with the casualties. Usually amongst those attacks, the patients with chronic illnesses and the children and with minor illnesses, etc., are forgotten because of the load, and the load is now on the hospitals maybe 50 times more than they used to have with such uh, very modest, not very modest, difficult to get medicine and other things. So we have something called as well. It is not clinic, but we call it a health stand or health point, where it's just a small place with first aid, with doctor, with nurse, are there to treat ordinary people, and if there is people who need stitches and simple things. This is not, we call it makeshift clinic or health point, we call it in our language, in نقطة طبية. This is happening, and psychosocial support for women and children is happening as well, and women health, women and child health, and this is happening. But of course, it wouldn't be happening the same way because now you are under attack and displacement, moving from. I wouldn't say it is ideal, but whatever we can. And by the way, the Israeli did not let the poliomyelitis vaccine into, and many cases were discovered because they've in the beginning said it will happen, but it did not happen exactly because of the lack of electricity and the vaccine itself. So I said psychosocial support, nutrition. I mentioned it, in nutrition, treatment, of course, of the children, and yeah, what else? Chronic diseases are received as well. Besides, I spoke about delivery and child care. It is happening, but I wouldn't see that it is happening in the ideal way, but it is happening because people are trying. We in Mecca, for example, we are surrounded by volunteers. We have at least 100 volunteer with Mecca, and during the genocide, we have recruited other people to work to help to support the team because the work has increased, our work has expanded, everywhere expanded. This is on Mecca, Middle East Children's Alliance level. Besides the water, of course, we had to recruit engineers to help with delivering water for the communities and filling because there's a big problem in Gaza, the water before the genocide. So we recruited engineers as well to continue with this. Whatever is in the market, we continued fixing water units because in Mecca, through the years, we have this water project, but units, water purification system. But now there is waterborne diseases, very, very prevalent in Gaza amongst children. And there's diarrhea, of course, and MPSs and skin disease amongst children, and infectious diseases, skin diseases. I mentioned scabies and pediculosis, and so. So once I come across a story of a young girl who has beautiful hair, and her father had to have it shaved because of the pediculosis, and the pediculosis, it can lead to another there is infection by staphylococcus that can cause renal problems, heart problems in the future. It is not as simple as just having skin problem. It can lead to another, the same as scabies, because the health atmosphere is not the ideal one. It is lack of hygienic kits, which we did. We distributed thousands of hygienic kits. We distributed water. We help in the health environment. We food, and whenever the borders were closed up till 1 week ago, the borders are still closed. We managed to buy from the local market fresh vegetables. But again, when you think of the work we are doing and the others are doing, it is just a drop of water in an ocean, and it needs governments to support and take care of this governments and people who are committed to the Palestinian people and to humanity, not committed to the income they are going to get. Like those big companies are waiting for Gaza to be rebuilt. No, we need people who have a commitment to the humanity and not for the business and the ocean. I don't lose hope because I believe that those drops of water will make a river or an ocean one day.
Is the Middle East Children's Alliance able to get anything into Gaza right now? And if so, how do they do that? Or maybe they don't let people know?
No, at the moment, since 3 months, no, since 3 months, nothing entering Gaza. Even before the Gaza, and the army is supporting some looters supported by the army to hijack the aid. And the situation was even very bad before those 3 months. And but I hope that if the ceasefire was in action, they will start to deliver like 1,000 truck. We were promised. I don't know about the reality of this and how the situation will help. Because the money is still you can donate to the Middle East Children's Alliance, for example, and with the money we send it directly to the partner organization. You know, this is the link we do. There is very organized work. It has been sent from your hands to the hands of the people of Gaza with no admin for Mecca. And this is how we always worked since Barbara Lubin was the head of the organization, and she's the founder and the head. And I hope she listens to this because I miss her too much. Yeah.
Okay, I have one here, and then Peter. People talk about possibility of a Palestinian state. Do you want to comment on that and how that could happen, or whether it should?
Palestinian state where? Where? In the expansion of Gaza, expansion of the settlements in the West Bank, in the destroyment of Gaza and Israel 1948. The only solution is one place for all.
Yes.
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 Amen.
Based on justice.
Yeah.
But based on justice, based on rights and everything. I mean, you hear about the Palestinian state, and you hear on the other hand about how many new settlements the government has agreed in the West Bank. So where are we going to have it?
Yeah. Absolutely. There are 22 new settlements okayed yesterday, I think. By
Sorry?
Israel. That's right. Peter.
I do not know the definition of genocide under international law, although I don't flinch for a second when I hear that term used. But I think we have failed in our movement to penetrate the mass consciousness in this country. And if we all were aware of the use of drones to snipe out children in Palestine, maybe we would penetrate the mass consciousness and begin to move beyond this charge that we are the loony left and there is no genocide. I heard that said recently by a MAGA propagandist. We have to push back. The genocide is real.
That's right.
We hear all different sort of things, but I mean, we are not to be blamed because the tide, you are not to be blamed because the tide is very high and the power are in the wrong, power and economy in the wrong hands. But at least you have done your best and your voices are here in Gaza and your practical support as well. Your practical support means a lot. Means a lot. Even this drop of ocean I'm talking about, Mecca's work and the others, it means a lot for many families, for people, for children. Children now, no clothes, no socks. Whenever we find in Mecca, whenever we find some place that still has socks or clothes for children, the team go and the team and the partners go and buy to give children. I mean the problem is very, very big in Gaza, but together we can carry it, and we will be able to support our people because the real problem will start after the ceasefire or stop of the war. It needs many years to be for the rehabilitation and healing of people. This is my main concern. Main concern about how many bombs were dropped on Gaza and what was the effect of this on the children and adults, cancer, increasing cancer, what is the effect on the kidneys, what is the effect on the soil. It needs a lot of research and work because I don't, maybe, you know, I mean, what I meant that it is a very, very, very big amount that has dropped on Gaza, and the future effects, the effect on the environment, the effect on the health, will need years of research to find out about the disease and about the cancer and all these things. I feel really, I feel sad now. I'm talking like that because I know there is a lot of work waiting for us, even if the war is over, for all of us.
That's right.
Yes.
Let's see, we'll take Craig and then Liza. Craig?
Thanks for coming again, Dr. El-Farra. One quick question. Last week, a poll was released, I think it was by Penn State, about the Jewish Israelis and how they feel about the treatment of Palestinians. And I think it was shocking to a lot of people that, well, the majority of Jewish Israelis are okay with what's going on there. Basically, the forced relocation, ethnic cleansing, and perhaps surprising, at least to me, was that only 9% of Jewish Israelis under the age of 40 were against this forced relocation. I mean, this is apparently a poll, a Penn State poll. Do those numbers, from your experience, do they seem to be in the ballpark or about right? That this is not just the right-wing Netanyahu government, this is the Israelis themselves, the community. So that's my question. Do you think those numbers are pretty accurate?
The question again, the last few words, what is the question?
Well, the question essentially is the poll numbers of Jewish Israelis who are okay with the ethnic cleansing, the genocidal slaughter, the forced relocation. The vast majority are okay with that. These are these Jewish Israeli citizens. It's not the Netanyahu government. And of Jewish Israelis who are under 40, only 9% think this forced relocation is a bad idea. It was surprising to me that so many were.
I agree with you that the vast majority are with the ethnic cleansing, and not only the government, but they are the outcome of years of brainwashing and hiding. But now the truth is out, and even the new generation didn't know about us. I hope I answered the question. It is, I found it a little, yeah, but I mean, the history is people go up and down, and Israel will go up, then down. Yeah, the history is circles. The Roman Empire was so strong, then it went down.
Yeah.
Israel will kill itself from inside.
Yeah.
This is, I not feel, but I just analyze, because they cannot continue like that. And with your support, but the main problem is the USA, the support of the USA, the main problem. So that's why your work is very important.
Liza, and then Eric.
Dr. El-Farra, this goes, and I'll be very brief. This goes back to your talking about Israel's destruction, not only of the current infrastructure, but history and culture. And so, and I just wanted to be sure or ask you, are you aware of an exhibit right now in Paris at the Institute of the Arab World, Institut du Monde Arabe, of objects from Gaza that were stored in Geneva, Switzerland, and not returned? And this goes back way before the so-called war. They somehow, for one reason or another, they were not returned to Gaza, and therefore they were saved. And the exhibit is called, in French, Trésor Sauvé, saved treasure, and covers millennia of history, if I got the subtitle correct. I just wanted to know, just to be sure you're aware of this, in case you might possibly want to go and see it.
I think I have heard about it, but it is good. The whole world through art. Art is doing many things, and this exhibition is very important. And that's it. Yes, I feel a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
Eric, well, this will be our last question.
Okay.
Eric.
Salam alaikum. Thank you so much for coming and talking with us. I just wanted to share with you from Minneapolis, Minnesota, that we have a large number of anti-Zionist Jewish people active in our community. As we speak, there is an art exhibit open here in the city of Jewish artists for the liberation of Palestine. And I wanted you just to be aware that especially young Jewish people, and I think this is true across the United States, it's very true in Minneapolis, are not supporting the Zionism. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your what you have said, but I am aware of that, and I appreciate that they are on the right side of history, because what's happening in my country is so ugly and so criminal through the years, and just needs little awareness of people to read a little bit, not to be just repeat what the media is saying. I appreciate that, and I know of that, and we have I have many friends, Jewish friends, who are supportive of peace and justice in Palestine. Thank you for the question.
Just one more thing. Is anybody else on this online have anything they want to say or ask Mona before we let her go? Anybody?
Our prayers are with you.
That it?
I just want to say thank you again so much for being here with us. I've learned so much, and I just thank you for sharing your light with us, and I wish you peace along your journey.
It is my honor. It is my honor and my privilege to be invited to this, and I support all the work you are doing because from the heart I feel it is very important for a better world. All people are equal. This is my vision for life. People are equal. Enjoy peace and equity regardless of race, gender, political affiliation, or religion, or whatever. This is the world that we should all work for. Thank you very much. But I appreciate solidarity. Thank you. Thank you.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine.
Free, free
Yes.
Palestine. Free Palestine. When we say a free Palestine will be free from the river to the sea, we mean that the whole land will be free of Zionism for both, for Jewish, Christians, and Muslims, and secular people, and all people. It is not about religion. It is about land, and about rights, and about apartheid and racism. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for coming. We had, what, 18? Well, you probably can see that. At
Yeah,
one point,
18. And 22 people in the room.
Yeah, so people were anxious to hear from you. Hungry to hear from you. See you soon, I hope. Yeah. All right. All right, just a few announcements. Can somebody turn on the light? Our work is not done. Somebody turn on the light, please. Lucia. Lucia, can you, or somebody, thank you. All right, you know, we've got a lot, there are 5 things going on today at 2:30 today over at New City Center is a forum. Iran is not the enemy, and of course, Iran is sort of in the crosshairs again right now, or certainly in the news. The healthcare workers for Palestine are going to have an event at 4 o'clock at Powderhorn about BIPOC kids. Let's see, tonight, Take Back Pride is coming. The end of, is today, no.
They're having a fundraiser, to raise money for the protest happening the same day as Twin Cities Pride. So there's gonna be a food truck and music, live performances, tonight at Lucy Parsons Center from 7 to 10.
All right, and tomorrow at noon, is it, is the event?
It's at noon, yeah.
Yeah, at Hennepin County, is that right? About.
Yeah, the federal building.
And it has to do with police brutality, George Floyd, community control, what is it called?
I'm gonna read it.
Okay.
Because, and there's flyers for everything in the back. It's the National Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression's National Day of Action, to rescind Trump's Executive Order 14288, demanding community control of Minneapolis Police Department, and to pass the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act now. So that's tomorrow at noon at Federal Building, which is 300 South 4th Street downtown. initiated by the new People's Action Coalition Against Trump, which WAMM is a part of, I think.
Yeah. And
Soon to be part
the
of.
vets are doing a fast, downtown at First and Hennepin, so stop by there anytime you can in the next 35 days now. They're doing it for 40 days, so it's quite an undertaking. What else is happening this week? Oh, man, walk against weapons, oh my God. Our next Saturday, WAMM Walk Against Weapons, and we're gonna be marching to a subsidiary of Lockheed Martin. We're gonna start in a park about close by. It'll be like a 15-minute march. We gather at 10:30 at Langford Park. Somebody wanna make sure everybody gets flyers on the way out. And, so I think that's probably enough for this week, but every week the court, I think, hasn't the Free Palestine Coalition, no, anti-war committee is, I guess, organizing.
Yeah,
There's a DFL dinner on the June 15th. Keep your eyes open for that. There'll be another picketing at that.
yeah, June 13th, so 2 Fridays
Yeah.
from now. Details will be available soon,
Yeah.
because it's not public yet.
Thanks, everybody, for coming. Oh, yeah,
There's that art exhibit today and tomorrow.
yeah,
At 7,500 Bloomington.
yeah.
12 to 4.
Yeah, 12 to 4, the art exhibit that's.
Yeah,
Yeah, 12 to 4.
For the art exhibit, we used to have some little flyers, but they're all gone, so.
It's on Lotus Locust, it's right on the corner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lotus Locust.
next to
And it
Reverie.
has the big, John, the big mural. What did I say? On the side.
Take another. No, part of it, just, donate to. Please, eat the donuts.
There it is.
Oh, wait. Before you leave. Oh, my God, we are gonna, the donation, they will go to the Middle East Children's Alliance.
She just wanted.
And either put money, did you already do this? Put money in, check, and we have a Venmo too, which makes it really, where's our Venmo? Do we have our Venmo thing somewhere?
It's on the table over
On
there.
the table. You can use Venmo, and please, if you use Venmo, put Middle East Children's Alliance or Mecca in the donation or what you're giving it for, and we'll make sure that gets to them.
It's not like
Huh?
and it's not like place, but Middle East, MIC. Middle East Children's Alliance.
All right. Did that come around? Did that? Anyway.
Okay.